We're going to cover today is 3 elements of what I believe is really, really important in a sales environment. First of all, what goes on in your head. Secondly, what goes on in the heads of your customers and prospects. And thirdly, some really practical things that you can do to make sure that when you leave here today, you will have an idea and a sense and even a plan of the things that you need to be doing daily, weekly and monthly in order to have the best possible chance of converting what comes into your business into sales and really getting the rapport so that you've got the best chance. Today is to make sure that you leave here really motivated and inspired to take some action after you leave here. Anything will do, any action, as long as you do something different. Because if you're not getting the results that you want in your business right now in terms of sales, then that means you need to make some changes. Even if you're getting quite good results and you want great results, you still need to make some changes. Because if you carry on doing what you're already doing, then you'll get the same results as you've been getting. I want you to be thinking about where the pains are in your particular situation. I want you to write, what is causing me angst? What is stopping me from sleeping at night? Whatever it is for you, to whatever level you're at, I want you to think what that is. And then I want you to be thinking about your outcome for today. My mission, I would say my mission in life, and probably has always been, and I've probably only articulated it in recent years, is that I want to give every person the ability and the confidence to sell themselves, sell their ideas, sell their products or services in a really powerful and dynamic way, yet that's completely natural for you in your style of personality. So for those of you that think there's a stereotype individual who is going to be great at sales, it absolutely is not the case. The best salespeople are the ones that are completely natural and congruent in their own skin. So all of the stuff I'm going to share with you today, I want you to take it as a framework. I'm going to give you some strategies and I'll tell you the way that I use the strategies and how some of our clients use the strategies. But as long as you stick within the framework of the strategy, I want you to really impose your personality and the passion that you already feel for your business into the passion for helping others. Because based on my experience of meeting business owners especially, there is a passion for what you do. You love what you do and you're passionate about taking that to the world and helping and in some way another person or a group of people have either a better quality of life or to achieve things more easily or to take away some pain from those other people. And if you're in a sales role, that's exactly the same, even if it's not your company. You know, before I even owned my own business, my mission was to go out and help people with the services that my company provided. And that was absolutely my driving force. And so what I want you to consider all through today is that you think about the reason that you're actually doing what you're doing. You know, what it does for you and more importantly, what it's going to do for others. Because unless you master the art of selling, all those people in the world that you are destined to help, that's your destiny to help them, are not going to get your help. Now that would be really sad. It would be really sad because I know many, many talented people who are not successful because they haven't mastered the art of connecting with others in a way that makes them want to buy. And that raises a really interesting point. I'm going to tell you to stop selling today. all right? So I'm going to tell you to stop selling so you can all breathe a sigh of relief. Yeah, I'm going to give you some really great techniques that actually encourages people to want to buy from you rather than you having to pitch.
Chinese Whispers, one of my favourite games. At a recent training session in Melbourne, we had 20 senior managers. I told them all we were going to do a listening skills test. We then played Chinese Whispers. Result? Oh, it was a shocker. Facts forgotten, facts turned round, facts omitted, facts added. It was a genuine, real mishmash. Hello, my name is David Jackson and I'm CEO of the Australian Sales Masters in Sydney. Listening to someone is, as Winston Churchill put it, the highest compliment you can give to someone. I suppose the question is, how well do you listen? We all know we're given 2 ears and 1 mouth and should use them in that proportion. But do we? Experts will tell us there are many sorts of listening modes. I want to focus on active listening, and I'll say it again, active listening as the mode of preference. Active listening is the single most useful and important listening skill. In this active listening mode, we are genuinely interested in understanding what the other person is feeling and wanting. We are really concerned in the message they're putting out. When actively listening, we will wait until they're finished and then verify or feed back to them those parts of the communication that were important. This process, this feedback process, is one of the key things that distinguishes listening from active listening. Listening is hearing the words. Active listening is really listening for the message with your eyes as well as your ears. Another key trait of a practiced active listener is note-taking. I remember many years ago I attended a boot camp in Phoenix with master trainer Tom Hopkins, where he had us all rehearsing the line, "Let me make a note of that." We're in a room with several hundred people all singing, "Let me make a note of that." But just think how important that line is. Let me make a note of that. Wow, what a line. When used, your customer appreciates the fact that you're taking notes and sees that you care. The other bonus for you is that you can refer to these points later, when and if needed. By taking notes and repeating it back to the customer, it highlights to them what areas of agreement or disagreement there are, and it puts them into perspective. Listening really isn't a spectator sport. It's something you have to immerse yourself in order to get the most out of your conversations. So let's review a couple of common barriers to be aware of in your quest to become an exemplary active listener. Now, some of these would be prejudicing the person speaking. Secondly, finishing off their sentences for them. Thirdly, being distracted by external activities and not giving attention. Number 4, lack of feedback. And number 5, treating the discussion as a competition. Now let's have a look at some positive listening skill tips. Let's review a checklist of things that you can do to become a better, more active listener. Number 1, always close out all external distractions. Give the speaker 100% of your attention. Number 2, set aside your prejudices, your opinions. After all, you may actually learn something from the person speaking. Number 3, suspend emotions. If you're like me, it is extremely difficult in a highly emotional state. And number 4, focus your attention on the subject, not the speaker. Number 5, well, we've covered this one, but take notes. Use the words, "Let me make a note of that." And number 6, really be involved. Match and mirror the speaker's body language and position. People respond best to people like themselves. Thanks for watching, but before you go, make sure that you go and check out and receive your free ebook and DVD downloads. Go to our website www.thesalesmasters.com and click onto free stuff and enjoy the learning materials. I hope you were listening.
Hello, and thank you so much for coming to this page. If you manage a sales team, you will know that there are many highs and there are some lows too. And I'd like to explore with you how you can incorporate psychology into improving the performance of your sales team. What I've found over the years is that conventional sales training really focuses on changing the behaviours of salespeople, and they're really great behaviours that generate more sales. What really doesn't get addressed is the psychological barriers that get in the way of great sales performance. We've created a system that takes salespeople through a process that firstly helps them identify their psychological barriers and gives them the tools to overcome them. Secondly, teaches them how to stay focused and motivated. Thirdly, gives them the ability to identify the psychological preferences and traits of their clients and prospects so they can connect and communicate at a much deeper level and close more sales. And at a higher level, it creates more success in their lives, so they are happier generally, and happier salespeople generate more sales. I'm known for increasing sales anywhere from 20 to over 100% even after completion of my programs. In fact, one of our clients, in the 12 months following completion of our program, their sales productivity went up 67%. At a time when their sector was in decline by 12%. There are so many salespeople struggling out there, and I know our system actually will give them the tools to eliminate what's holding them back and really make changes for them at a much deeper level so they can achieve great sales on a consistent basis. There are so many things that you can do as their leader and manager and their developer, if you like. And the first thing you might want to do is fill in the box and receive our free DVD that covers the 7 biggest mistakes that I have found when working with organisations that consistently come to the top that are barriers to great sales. The companies I work with turn to me because they've tried lots of different things to increase their sales productivity, and they're still not getting the results. So if you want to explore a more psychological approach to increase your sales productivity, fill in the box, get the DVD, and in the DVD you will find some really quick and easy things that you can do to resolve some of the issues and frustrations that you may be facing with your team. Thank you so much for listening, and please, if you want to chat personally, do contact me either at the office or by email. Be absolutely delighted to speak with you. Until we meet again, bye for now. Now, I've been in sales for 28 years and many moons ago as a young sales manager I became really frustrated by the inconsistent performance of my team. And what I discovered, that what goes on inside a person's head has the biggest impact on whether they're going to be successful in sales or not. And in the last 16 years, I've literally trained thousands of salespeople and business owners how to use this stuff. And there are two reasons that I have found to be at the root cause of people not doing what they know they should be doing. Now, you know, all of us can be guilty of that. We all know that we need to either go out networking, we need to connect, we need to pick up the phone, we need to write great proposals, we need to follow up on those proposals. We know all the things that we should be doing, and yet there is something inside us that stops us doing it. And we can all come up with our own story about why we can't do it. And one of the areas that I've found, which is really common with business owners and salespeople, is that they come up with reasons and excuses why they can't. And those reasons and excuses seem really plausible. They're like, I haven't got time. I can't get hold of the decision maker. I'm too busy doing this to pick up the phone. So I want you to start noticing where you're doing that. Now, the reason people do that, because it lets us off the hook, doesn't it? It makes it okay not to take the action that we know we need to take. Now, has anyone in the room come across the concept of cause and effect? Okay, so some of you, this will seem familiar. You know, you'll have an understanding of this. When somebody is in effect, it means that they're allowing outside forces or people outside of themselves to stop them doing something. So for those of you that watch the news and read the newspapers and believe that stuff about no one spending any money, everyone's holding on to their money, and you believe it so much that it stops you taking action, that means that you're in effect. It's like you're being impacted by everything that you can't control. You cannot control people, you cannot control the situations you find yourself in. And people who stay in this space here, in effect, give up their power. When you do that, you give up your power. It's almost like crossing your arms, and even if you do pick up the phone, even if you do go to that networking event, deep down you're thinking, you know what, no one's spending any money at the moment. To give that activity 100% if deep down you think nobody's spending any money. You can't, it's impossible to give 100% to something when you've got all this stuff going on impacting on you. Now there is another way of being. So this is being in effect. The other way of being is to be at cause. Now when you're at cause, it's not denying that that stuff is taking place, because we know it's like there are challenging economic times. There are very specific situations that cause people not to spend as much, maybe. I don't know. And it's not about being in denial of those things, it's about acknowledging that there are challenges and saying, okay, well if that's true, what am I going to do about it? So think about the reasons and excuses that you currently use that stop you taking action, and ask yourself that question. So if it's, I haven't got time, for example, okay, so if I haven't got time, what am I going to do about it in order to achieve what I want to achieve? Because when you put yourself in this position, you come up with solutions to overcome that stuff over there.